Yeah, sure. First of all, credit to Michigan. Um, really good team. Want to secondly thank our seniors. You know, these guys really have done a tremendous job the last couple of years of modeling what true leadership looks like, especially through a tough stretch here for us. And as I told them in the locker room, the leadership that they've shown us through these tough stretches, this last couple of years for this group of seniors, especially some of the older guys that have been around here, they've really modeled for an inexperienced team what it looks like that you just keep showing up and you keep swinging, which they did. We'll grow because of the work that this group has put in. I know this team will keep fighting. As long as there's time left, we'll keep fighting and keep showing up and working. We have one more opportunity next week in Detroit to send our seniors out with a win. And I know this team, because of the character they've shown the last 7 weeks here, will continue to do that and send off and finish this thing the right way as we travel up next week for Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, to go play Michigan State. And we just weren't good enough today. It starts with me as the leader, and we all will take a look at this film and get things corrected and finish it up the right way. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Mike, the way Michigan was moving the football, I think they were 6 of 7 on third downs in the first half. What was the toughest part about trying to contain them today?
I mean, obviously, 12 of 14 on third down. Those are the execution of getting off the field showed up again. Now, I give our defense, I mean, they played a short field all game long. Obviously, the kicking game and the drive starts for them was not advantageous, but we do have to be able to get off the field on what we call money downs, and didn't do that today, didn't do it very well.
Yeah, Mike, kind of following up on that, just what did you see some of the issues were with the rush defense, them rushing for 228 yards?
I mean, the way it looked on the film, on the field for me until I watch it, the ball came off the edge. We didn't set the edge of the defense very well. The last few weeks has been a lot of what we call interior runs. Today, the ball came off the edge of the table, which typically means that we've got to get the force players down tighter. They've got to do a better job of forcing the ball back to where the help was. And today, I didn't see a lot of the ball being forced back inside. Ball came off the edge of the table too many times.
Hey, Coach, with the success Michigan has had with Bryce, as a freshman, is there something maybe you could take away from their process and roster building, or how they've kind of gone about him?
I haven't studied Michigan enough to know what they've done for Bryce other than getting prepared for this week. I think our freshman quarterback has played pretty well, and are there ways and areas that he can play better? No doubt, but haven't studied them enough to be able to make that assumption.
What are some of your big takeaways from Malik now that we're just about through the season?
By this time of year, I think as a freshman that didn't play a lot during training camp, missed all of training camp due to injuries, I think that he's played pretty well for us and has given us some opportunities to win. Is there room for growth? There's room for growth for all of us. But for a true freshman quarterback, I think he's played pretty well.
Hey, Coach. Michigan was 12 of 14 on third down today. Didn't punt. Why wasn't the defense able to get off the field today?
I mean, I got to go watch it. I mean, it starts with making the plays that are there. We've had some opportunities on some of the third downs. Look like our under coverage on some of the longer situations. I know they hit the tight end and the seam a couple times. It's tough for me to get up here and answer why and exactly how everything that happened. I'll get it watched, get it evaluated. I know it just happened too often, and we've got to get it stopped and get off the field.
Hey, Coach, with the younger players on this team, with the pieces that you're going to be building with going forward, what do you hope that they're taking from this skid?
From this skid?
Yeah.
Well, one, I hope that they're taking the leadership traits that this group of seniors have shown, which is there's not been one time I've shown up on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to get this team ready to play that I don't feel like they showed up ready to do the work necessary. As I said, this team has some really deep-rooted connections and have stayed really, really together throughout this tough skid. It's a byproduct, like I said, you don't always get what you work hard for. Those are life lessons that will benefit us all. I can tell you nobody wants to win more than that group in that locker room, and us as a coaching staff and the support staff that helps get this thing going day in and day out. But we're going to keep showing up, keep working, keep doing the necessary work. And I know that because of what the seniors have modeled, especially through this last 2-year stretch, they've left a strong impression on what it looks like and how you're supposed to work.
And a lot of those guys, they won a lot in high school. So how do you keep them engaged amid this losing stretch, and how are they processing it?
You know, as a coach, it's my job to keep them engaged. I think the way you do it is you continue to show some signs of progress where they play well and things they do in small areas of progress. The end result is the key. Winning is what it's all about. But for me, I've got to keep showing this inexperienced team, because they're really not young now as we get into week 11 or week 12. But with this team, it's a matter of just continuing to show them where they've done things well while also correcting the areas that we got to get corrected.
Hi, Coach. I want to go back to the beginning of the game as those seniors walked out the tunnel and you greeted them for what's the last time. Is there anything, a special memory, a special story that went through your mind as they came out that tunnel for the last time today?
You know, we honored those guys. Those guys did a really good job this week of like I said, modeling what it looks like. They didn't make it about them. And that's what I think that group has been all about. This group has been a group that, even though they could have made it about them, they've made it about leaving the right kind of impression on a team, even though things aren't the way they wanted to be. And they show what it looks like when you don't get what you want. You still got to show up, put the work in, and play and do work to the standard. And that's what I think this group will be known for. And I think you'll see the fruits of their work in what this thing looks like moving forward, especially for some of these young players that are getting opportunity to see it firsthand.
Hey, Mike. You mentioned in past weeks about how you've been through, even tougher things than this in your life and in your football life. Are there things you can take from the rebound of coming out of those and finding success again that you can extrapolate and use it in this team as this team moves and builds and moves forward? You
know, that's the tough part, because this landscape doesn't allow it. I think what you're going to start to see is every team has a single identity. The years, and I've said this, the years of saying you're here to development is not the case. I mean, we develop players within our team, but to take one team from last year to this year, every year is going to have its own identity, and will be defined by the present, by what we are and who we are today. And I can tell you that we obviously have some talented, inexperienced players that just have to get back on the horse and learn how to win. Learn that sometimes just a little bit more detail in what we do and how we do it is the difference. And we saw some of that today, where we just missed on some explosive plays, whether it be an interception on defense, whether it be the deep shot down the sideline, where we're just missing. And so it's my job to get us to hit those plays, and we'll learn from them.
Well, Coach, speaking of identity, there were a few plays early on that seemed very different to how the team's gone early in the year, the double reverse, then the onside kick, and then next drive, you guys get over midfield, 4th and 5, you elected to punt. Can you talk about the reasoning behind that decision?
Yeah, so again, we wanted to play aggressive, to generate explosive plays. I mean, we dissect. I mean, it's amazing how we can dissect every single play. And but the end result is this: the way you create explosives or momentums, either a player makes a play or a coach designs or schemes or calls things to generate an explosive. We tried to steal a series. I don't know if you know, our kicker, 46, who typically kicks off, wasn't available. And so we had a 98 kicking off, and we put the surprise onside in, some things we saw to try to steal a possession, generate some momentum, generate explosives. We wanted to be aggressive. We had the reverse pass that ended up Malik scrambled. Again, we hit that top of that red zone area. Here's a coach trying to design a play to create an explosive. But then we get 4th and 5, and I don't know how it got compared to that, but now we got a really good punter who pins people down inside the 5-yard line with punts quite a bit. And so we decided to try to pin and play good defense and then flip the field position. So that's how those decisions were made.
Hey, Coach, you referenced Levain's drop pick and Jalil's drop in the end zone. Just how do you feel like those plays shifted the momentum? And then also, what can you say to those guys as lessons for kind of learning and how to win in the margins?
I mean, catch the ball. I mean, make a play. When they're there, I mean, these are obvious things that a coach's job is to take players where they can't take themselves, and that's my job. I got to figure out how to get Jaleel to make that play. I got to figure out how to get Levan to make that play. But I think if you bring those guys up here, they'll stand in front of you just like I'm owning it and taking accountability. They'll stand right in front of you and tell you that they're capable of making it and they need to. So not a lot needs to be said. It needs to be done. Thanks, guys.